Welcome to the AIT Worldwide Logistics Cold Chain Update. AIT is a global supply chain management company with more than 60 locations worldwide, providing sea, air, and ground solutions in nearly every industry. Today, I'm joined by Steve Taylor, Director of Sales for Food Logistics at AIT. When he joined the company 23 years ago, Steve was instrumental in launching the Food Logistics division, which has consistently been one of AIT's most successful strategic sectors. He also serves as AIT's liaison to the U.S. Meat Export Federation and the Global Cold Chain Alliance. Welcome, Steve.
Good afternoon, Anthony.
Steve, the food service has been hit particularly hard during this pandemic. Have you seen any positive signs of resurgence?
Yes, we've seen some improvement, Anthony. Right now, the numbers are showing roughly 40 to 50% down. Now, that is an improvement from a couple of months ago where it was over 70% down. With the advent of the phased reopening of the restaurants, the limited dine-in capacity, as well as the outdoor seating, definitely improving in this area from where it previously was, where the deliveries and or curbside pickups were their only source of income. Another area we're seeing in some trends is the stock transfers between distribution centers. So they're reallocating stock and moving it to other areas where there's a higher demand. So definitely becoming more commonplace in that food service.
And Steve, what are you seeing in the market in terms of capacity for various shipping modes?
So Anthony, I'll start out with the trucking side in the United States. So over the past 4 months, we've seen that capacity continue to tighten up to a point now where if we look at July, and if you look at the ratios from load to trucks that are available, that capacity is up year over year by 100%. So right now it's really primarily being driven by the retail sector as well as the life science or pharmaceuticals. And if we look at any indicators, we're really not seeing anything that are going to show this lightening up anytime before October. Now, on a more positive note, we look at the international supply chain. From the airline side, we're seeing an increased capacity going into Asia because of the additional commercial lift that's going on there. Still seeing it tight going into Europe. And then more on the ocean mode side, we're seeing increased availability of containers here in the United States on the ports as well as interior US, as well as availability and capacity on those vessels going into Asia and Europe. So definitely more positive when it comes to the global supply chain side and exporting.
And speaking of those international lanes, are you seeing any recent import-export trends?
So more specific to a commodity, we're seeing the surge in popularity of the plant-based proteins as well as dairies. And these companies looking to expand outside their home countries where they're manufacturing and selling that. Now, I'm not just mentioning or speaking of the 2 companies that are playing out in the media these days, but really companies that are well-known brands that have historically been associated with the production of proteins. They're now expanding and playing in this space as they see the demand increase. What we've been doing in this area is working with these companies and moving their products into these new markets so they could be testing it in the retail sector as well as the food service side. And what we're also seeing is it going both ways. So you have US-based companies that are expanding now in Asia, Europe, as well as the Middle East. But what we're also seeing is companies that are based in Europe now looking to expand into North America. So I think as innovation continues and that demand continues to increase, we're going to continue to see this trend.
Excellent, Steve. It sounds like you've all been able to be proactive and innovate during these times of uncertainty. Thanks so much for this update, and we're looking forward to learning a little bit more in the future.
Thank you, Anthony.